my biggest beefs about beating man coverage is that while the Texas route is a very good route, it actually stops on the other hash mark, which allows man coverage to recover. And if your opponent knows what they're doing with zone drops, it can actually be pretty easy to defend by just putting a hook in that area. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys something that is out of control good. I think it's the best running back route in all of Madden 22. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Hey, for the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Super Texas route. The Super Texas route is a route that you can find in a lot of playbooks in Madden 22. This is a route that has a vertical component before the running back actually runs the Texas route. So if you're looking for this route in your playbook, and like I said, you can find it in a number of playbooks, you'll just have to look pretty hard for it. You guys will be able to tell that this is a route that will not only smoke man coverage, but it will keep the separation against man coverage while also serving as a route that is really, really good against zone drop based defenses. So let's go ahead and show you first and foremost what a regular Texas route is. So with this particular setup, I'm going to set up the Super Texas, which is found in this play Dig and Go, and we'll get into that in a moment, as an audible. Just want to say thank you so much for helping me reach 12,000 subscribers here on the Madden YouTube channel. It is the spring of 2022 and we're still pushing upwards with the channel. Things are really growing, not only here on the YouTube channel, but also on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZanMadden, where I also stream Monday through Friday in the afternoons. And obviously on the Gridiron Game Plans website and in our Discord, where there's a ton of awesome community conversation. If you guys could do me a quick favor, make sure you guys, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button as we push for 13,000 subscribers. And we'll see you guys here on the other side of this. Now, I'm going to call the cover one robber defense. Cover one, man coverage in general, is very, very popular this year. A lot of players are used to defending Texas routes, but they understand the limitations of those routes. Namely in that, while this is a good man-beating route when you can hot route it on the field, it actually stops at the opposite hash mark, which can actually make this not as viable for you when it comes to trying to beat man coverage. So you can see here, this route gets outside, gets separation over the middle. And if you throw it right here, this is fine. You can just continue to rack. But unfortunately, if you're playing someone who is pretty good and knows what they're doing, they're either going to sit their user in this area of the field where you want to throw it, or they're going to zone drop a hook into the middle of the field, or maybe just put a vertical hook into that area of the field to prevent you from throwing in that window. So to mimic that, I'm going to put Whitehead on I'm just going to stand him, I guess, in the spot that you typically would see a lot of players tend to throw a traditional hot routed Texas route. So when you snap the ball, you know, if the user's kind of hanging out right here, they're going to take that away. And then what you notice is the second part, or the most important part really, of the Texas route that a lot of players struggle with is the fact that it doesn't keep running. I don't know why it doesn't keep running. I think that in general, when you talk about route combinations, the way route running is taught, if it's man, keep your feet moving. If it's zone, find a hole and set down. I don't understand why somebody against man-to-man coverage would get separation and then stop. I know that Vita Vea hit us on this play, but that actually didn't have any bearing on him stopping on that route. Let me show you what I mean here. If I were to go into like two-man under, for instance, and I'll just keep Vita Vea from shedding here. I want you to watch this Texas route once again here to Camara. This is again the hot routed, or the hot route master Texas route. So you're gonna see here separation over the middle with his light up, and then he's gonna stop right there. And you see how he gives up that separation? That's not what you want, obviously. You want him to kind of keep running on this. Thank you for checking out this free content over here on the Madden YouTube channel. If you guys are enjoying this content, make sure that you guys also check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we go over the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counteract those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every game plan on the site all year long for just the low price of $9.95 a month. And you guys get access to our Discord channel, where we have members of the Gridiron Game Plans community chatting daily, helping each other get better at the game. And this also includes a lab session every single Wednesday night on the channel. So make sure you guys get over to the website. If you guys are looking for the best escape artist defense in the community, you have to look no further. gridirongameplans.gg. Now back to the video. Now enter the Super Texas route. So we're going to go to the play dig and go. The Super Texas route is so much better. It's an amazing man beater because it doesn't stop running. And it actually, as we're going to see here, is a really, really good zone drops beater. So I'm going to set my zone drops first. We're going to first call some man-to-man. I'm going to set 30 yards as my flats. We'll also set 30 yards for purples here to show you that it beats both of those. But let's start off with a simple man-to-man look. And just to prevent Vita Vea from instant shedding us, I'm going to spy him real quick. Go ahead and take a look at the Super Texas route. Now, the difference between this route and the hot routed one is that vertical component right before he goes into the outside cut. So if you pay attention very closely, you can see that Camara runs straight and then diagonal and then cuts diagonally over the middle, as opposed to a regular hot routed Texas route, which is just straight diagonal and then back over the middle. So with this Super Texas route, what I would recommend is just clearing out the middle of the field, maybe having a vertical pull route for any deep zones that might exist if it were to be a zone-based coverage like cover 3 here in this, and then just let it happen. Let that route cut and then watch it keep running. And I'm going to hold on to the ball here. You see how he basically just stays running and he doesn't stop at the other hash. This ends up being something extremely, extremely valuable here as a man-beating tool because it doesn't stop. So when your opponent is expecting it to stop at that hash mark and it just keeps running, they're going to be out of position if they're using it at all. So again, you see here, watch how he just keeps running and keeps running and keeps running. And we could throw this ball all the way out. And at this point, if we can just get one solid block, that's going to end up being a touchdown for you because he's beaten his coverage so badly. Now, I do know that Alvin Kamara has the backfield mismatch or backfield master ability, but you don't necessarily have to have that. We know that in general, every running back in the game does beat man-to-man coverage on pretty much every route. So you don't have to have an ability here for this. It will make it better down the field if you are trying to aggressive catch a linebacker. But again, you see right here that with this ball being caught, we're able to catch this ball on the sideline at the opposite 34-yard line with us being spotted, you know, basically at the 25. So we're going to be able to add on an additional, let's see, 25 and 16. You guys can do the math. That's about 41 yards. So that's definitely beating a max zone drop. So let's go into the cover 2, because keep in mind here that we did have zone drop set to 30. I want you to watch Carlton Davis III here on this play. Once again, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to spy the pass rush a little bit and we'll show you. With this particular concept, you probably, if you know it's a cover 2, my recommendation would be just to basically run off the deep half safety with that seam to Michael Thomas, and then just let Kamara run his route. So you're going to see here, he's going to get into the cut and he's just going to continue running and running and running. So now let's talk about zone drops. This route, because it runs so deep, is also a great zone drops beater. So keep in mind that we set our blues to 30 here. I'm going to have Carlton Davis be the one that you need to pay attention to. Let me spy off the pass rush just a little bit. And I want you to kind of see how, because he doesn't stop at that opposite hash mark, you have the opportunity to throw this ball down the field. Now, the route combo could be up to you. I think if it were like a cover 2 based defense, you would want to run the safety deep down the seam because there will be a big gap on the sideline over the top of the 30-yard blue. I did talk about this route not stopping against man-to-man coverage, and it doesn't. You may notice that if you hold on to the ball super, super long, that he actually stops a couple, maybe 2 or 3 steps after the hash mark, but you can use his status of being in motion to lead him into the area that you want to throw. So when he runs this, you're going to see that he's going to cut over the middle, and then he's going to continue to run and run and run. And you could just lead this ball into that spot, and you see right there, that's going to definitely beat a 30-yard blue for a big, big gain. So this could potentially be a one-play touchdown type of throw for you if your opponent is not ready for the running back. And that was, once again, with 30-yard blues in a cover 2 based defense. So obviously you guys can see that the Super Texas route is really, really good against your cover 2 zone drops and man coverage. Those are probably the 2 primary metas you're going to see in Madden right now. And I want to take you guys over and show you another route. If you cannot find a Super Texas route in your playbook, I am going to bet that you can find this route that I'm about to show you. And this route is actually very, very similar, although it is an option route. We've actually talked about it before here on the YouTube channel way back in the beginning of the year, so you guys probably don't even remember this. But if you take a look at the Trey Y Flex, you can find these routes sprinkled all over this formation. And this is a option Texas route. I would actually call it an option circle route. And this has 3 options. It's going to run one route in particular against cover 2 man and cover 1. It's going to run a hitch against zone-based defenses, and it's going to run a basically circle or Texas pattern against cover 0. So it's actually really, really smart. If you guys have a backfield master on this route, it's really, really good. So let's start off with kind of breaking down how this works. I'm going to run a little bit of, cover 1, cover 2, and then we'll run some cover 0. So let's start off with a play like cover 1 robber. And with this particular coverage, you'll notice that this is man-to-man, and it does have, zones on the field. So if it's a man-to-man defense that does have zones, whether it's hook curls or deep zones, the running back is basically going to run the equivalent of the option route. The option route, as you guys know, breaks to the outside. This will do very much the same thing, which is very, very useful. So you see here, he's going to go into his cut, create separation. You throw the ball to the outside, scamper upfield. If you can make a guy miss, it can turn into far, far more. Running back is one of the most spam players on the field this year. So that's what it's going to do against man with a zone on the field. I'll show this again to you with the 2-man under. Again, you're going to notice that he's going to go straight to the out cut. So he's going to cut up and then out. And you can throw this ball out there on the sideline. He'll pretty much always be right with this. Now, being that this is a very, very, very blitz-friendly game at its current state, you guys are probably going to see a fair amount of the Mike Blitz 0 out of 3-3-5 wide. Now, Mike Blitz 0 is one of those blitzes that the running back shouldn't be staying into block anyways. The contains will loop him. So what I would typically do against something like this, if I were in Trey Y flex, is I would just block the tight end against this. Now, what's really, really cool against cover 0 is that being that there are no extra zones on the field, you're actually going to be able to use this running back route, and he's going to go straight to the post. And he'll keep running like the Super Texas route. So he's not going to stop on the other side of the field, and you're able to just continue throwing him in stride and running down the sideline after the catch. I absolutely love this because this is good against your mid blitz meta. This is good against your 3-3-5 wide. It's good against pinch 0. Anybody that wants to send the crib at you, this is a route that will not stop in the middle of the field. So if you kind of were to imagine a cover 0 blitz meta, most players are going to kind of mug the gap, and then they're going to cover to about right here, and then they're going to look for something else. So if you were playing something like that, what I would actually end up doing with this is just letting that guy continue to run and throw it over the top. So I'm going to click off of this guy to kind of mimic he would be in like a left hook curl. And again, we know that this is one of those blitzes where the tight end has to block the contain. So we're just going to do this. And from here, what I would actually do is I would just create left-right combos. Maybe have a vertical route that gets off the line, free release. If you have a hot route master, you use posts and corners and things like that, right? We've only got just a regular Jameis Winston with no extra abilities, so we'll make do with what we have. Maybe you end up going with a little whip and a streak, just something real simple. But you know that route is going to break to the post and continue to run, and it's just not going to stop, which is so, so big. And actually right there, he did beat a corner. If that were a linebacker on him, he would have created even more separation. So keep that in the back of your mind as well. Just depends on who's on that player. If it's a linebacker, he'll be wide open. It's a lob up. He'll have so much separation that it doesn't matter where the ball lands. It's wide open against the cover 0. With the corner right there, it was still just enough to beat him. But obviously, depending on what way they flip or what coverage they're in, that's going to dictate who's covering that player. But I just wanted to show you a Texas route that actually does continue to run against man-to-man. Obviously, you guys know that running backs don't need abilities to beat man, whether that's a linebacker, a safety, or a corner in this game. It's the most thrown to option in the game by and large. So hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, be sure to drop those below. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.